Nearly 10 million ounces of gold resources through acquisition. This 50-cent stock has received a $2.65 price target from Cantor Fitzgerald. It's the one must-own precious metal stock according to New York Times bestselling author and fund manager Marin Katusa. Learn more at futuremoneytrends.com/gold 2016. Greetings and thank you for joining us at futuremoneytrends.com. I'm here with a very special guest, somebody who we all know. He's got one of the most popular podcasts on iTunes. He's a source and wealth of information. We're going to talk about the war on cash today, and we're also going to cover the primary season and this revolt we're seeing in voters. It's going to be a casual conversation with two very libertarian-minded, free market capitalists, and I even kind of subscribe to the nonviolent anarchist philosophy. So expect a great conversation here. Our guest is Kerry Lutz of the Financial Survival Network. You can listen to him on iTunes. You can listen to him at his website, and you can also subscribe to his free email list, where you will receive messages, personal messages from him, as well as updates on what's going on. He travels all over the country, even to foreign countries, to get some of the best interviews. Kerry, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, well, I hope I can live up to that build up there, Dan, but thank you for having me.
Kerry, I've enjoyed some great shows listening to you, and what's even better is I've enjoyed some amazing FedEx packages that you have sent my way after visiting the Forbidden Land, which is now not too forbidden. It seems like everybody's going there nowadays. But anyway, much appreciated to you and your show for all that you do for everybody. So, Kerry, let's start off with the primary season. So first off, before we even start, I'm not going to speak for you, but speaking for myself, I don't vote. There's a lot of reasons why I don't vote. If anybody wants to know why, Google the best Doug Casey speech ever. I think it was that day that I decided just to throw in the towel. Doug was Doug pushed me over the top. So I consider myself as raising my family an anarchist, but I'm a realist, and I think libertarian type government would do best. But with that said, Kerry, I just want people to know that they're not walking into some Republican or Democrat type trap, but I want to talk about Trump and Sanders and really get your opinion. You talk to a lot of people, and you are, a very bright thinker yourself, and also you have a very freedom-loving and libertarian mindset yourself. What is your thoughts on Trump and Sanders and this whole revolt that's happening right now?
Well, it's fascinating, and I have to disclose up front, I once represented Donald Trump or his casinos when I was an attorney many years ago. And one of the highlights of my career, total fun. I just had the best time hanging out with this guy for a couple of hours because he wasn't as much of an icon then as he is now. It was before The Apprentice, before his comeback was really complete. But extremely bright, funny as hell, curses all the time, or at least he used to. I'm no choir boy myself, but he was a bit over the top. But just total fun to be around, and just you really knew that this guy, he's got something. He really has something, and man, we just hit it off, and I remember that as one of the highlights of my career. So fast forward to now, I love the fact that if the establishment hates him and the elite hates him, then you should love him. That's what it comes down to, in my opinion. Whether he's going to make America great or not, I think that is a feat that I'd love to see, but I don't think is going to be real practical. I think I'd love to say that it could happen, but we might be too far down the rabbit hole at this point for that to become a reality.
What about Sanders? A lot of libertarians are identifying with him because he points out the problems. Where I completely just can't stand the guy is because his solutions are all just horrible. What about Sanders? Because it seems like it's not just a Trump thing on the Republican side. The Democrats are also in revolt.
Absolutely. Well, look, he's like Elizabeth Warren. She's wonderful at saying how corrupt the banks are and everything else. And what her solution, though, is his solution, which is just have the government take over the entire economy and everything's going to be great. And if only it were that simple, Dan. But yeah, it's like you've diagnosed the patient with a very serious disease, which may or may not be curable. But your solution is to just give them more of what caused the disease in the first place. Doesn't make any sense to me. It never did. And these guys are just frauds, in my opinion.
Now, Kerry, you're in Florida, and I'm baffled by the fact that Trump is beating Rubio like 20 points. What is going on in there? What are you hearing, or what do you see, or what do you know that? Why is Rubio so unpopular? He's supposed to be like this golden boy down there.
Yeah, well, he's the establishment's golden boy, and basically the guy is just I don't know. I think it's inauthentic. This is a time where the appearance of authenticity, even if it's not real authenticity, if that's a contradiction, I apologize. You have to appear to be authentic, meaning you appear to really be yourself, comfortable in your own skin, and say what's on your mind. And this guy is a freaking robot, right? Yeah. I mean, he is programmed to the nth, and he's got he just is not real. I think that's the way he's perceived, and he's the darling of the establishment. But the other thing you got to look at here is that he's being kept in there. They'd rather have Kasich, and he's going to be a sacrificial lamb, I believe, when push comes to shove. I think he's there for now just to bash Trump and drive up Trump's negatives, and then he's going to, because he's going to lose in Florida, presumably, and he loses in Florida, he's dead meat. All right, and that should be the end of the campaign. Trump wins Florida, a couple of other states in 2 weeks, and end of discussion. And Trump is going to be spending most of his time in Florida. 99 delegates, winner takes all. He could have had a stronger showing last night, but and then there's the issue of open and closed primaries. I won't get into that. He's basically, it's his to lose at this point, I think.
I think so too, and Rubio, he's never managed anything. I don't even know how this guy has the right. I mean, what gives him the courage to even run for the president of the United States? The guy's never managed one person.
No.
It's interesting with Trump. He does connect with the crowd, which is huge. This whole thing with, people are just miserable out there and they're just desperate for change. And I don't know if Trump's going to be able to help. A lot of people say, he's got that dictator or, executive, manner where he just wants to make decisions. And I totally get it. And hey, you know what? The other guys have been doing it for a long time. So maybe this guy, at the very least, he is being attacked by the Goldman Sachs and the JP Morgans and the big donor class. Real quick, I wanted to make note that, the media is saying that, Trump might not have overperformed last night, or that these other guys, won states. But what I was looking at on Drudge, just the counts of the votes. If you look at popular vote, it's not even close. Like, these guys, I mean, they're like Alaska. I mean, okay, so you won where, thousands of people voted, just a handful of people. I mean, Trump's winning where 1 million people voted, and he's winning by like 20%. So it's really, they won some states, but I mean, the people who came out to vote, it's not even close. Well, I want to move this discussion to the war on cash, because you are literally the first person to even bring this up. And I actually remember, I want to say you and Robert Ian were talking to Rick Rule for a Liberty symposium. I don't know. Is it liberty.us or libertysymposium.us?
The
Liberty Mastermind. Yeah. And you were talking to Rick Rule, and I think Rick Rule actually pulled some cash out of his wallet. But tell us about the war on cash. How did you discover it before anyone else did, and what are your thoughts on it right now?
So it's a really funny thing here, Dan. Like, what happened was somebody pointed out to me something. I don't remember what, the money, just the currency that you get, and it's not cash, it's Federal Reserve note, evidence of the Fed's indebtedness. That's the lawyer in me speaking. They're just in the worst state. Like, you really, if they weren't worth anything, you just toss the things in the garbage. And it used to be, you went to your ATM, you got these crisp new notes that actually got your hands dirty. You never see them anymore. It's rare to see it. And I started investigating, and I had some friends in Florida here that actually had an ATM business, a private ATM business in hotels near airports. And they had to sell the business because they could no longer get cash. And they told me that their bank would call them up looking for cash. And I said, geez, this is really something. And then I thought about it. And then right at that time, Starbucks came out with a new app. And in it, you could actually tip your barista. And it all clicked. I said, this is it. It's a plan to get rid of cash. Because the government figure out Starbucks, with all their stores, a couple of tip jars in each store, as long as they're open, 15,000 stores, conservatively $1 billion a year goes through the tip jar at Starbucks collectively. And obviously the government isn't getting their fair share, in quotes, air quotes there. So if you get rid of cash and you just have apps and everybody gets tipped by an app, guess what? The government's take goes up, and you multiply this over and over in the economy, and that's just one aspect of it. And I wasn't even thinking of negative interest rates. But the other thing is, when money becomes cash, when it comes out of your account in the form of the green stuff, greenbacks, it's no longer leverageable, because money in your account, isn't your money anymore. You're just a creditor of the bank, and they in turn can go and with, depending on the reserve requirement, if there is one, we don't even know that anymore, they can just leverage it out 9 or 10 times. So if you have $1,000, the bank can actually loan it out 10 times over. So $10,000. So it all just fell into place. And I wrote an article in almost 2 years to the day called Operation Dirty Money. And like the only place where they were getting new money, you're going to laugh at this, was in the Washington, D.C. area, because some listeners copied their notes, black and white only, and sent them to me. And it was really funny. They were new Jack Lew notes. Couldn't find them anyplace else. Now you see them here and there, but not much. And also they're lying about, they're printing up all these new notes, but they're not getting into circulation. Billions of dollars in notes, nowhere to be found.
It's very interesting how this has happened, and it's just like everything else in life lately. It just, you don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. It's like, now everybody's stuck to their smartphones, and pretty soon, we're all going to not be driving our cars. So with this war on cash, I mean, the big, kind of elephant in the room, to me at least, is Bitcoin. Do you think Bitcoin has this gives more legitimacy to Bitcoin because in a certain way we already digital? If you're a millennial, if you're a Generation Xer, basically I'm talking about the people 18 years old to probably about 40 years old, they may already be cashless, and I am guilty of that. I had just told you prior to the call, I swiped the card the other day for like a 45-cent transaction at Office Depot. My wife is very guilty of this Starbucks app. I didn't even think about it. But it's we're already the generation from 40 on down is already cashless. But is this something that's a bright spot for Bitcoin?
Potentially, I just got reservations because it hasn't been battle tested yet. Supposedly, the number of Bitcoins that can be created are limited. It's built into the algorithm, and I'd be stupid to think that anything can happen and go wrong with it. I like the concept of it, and obviously, much of the recent increase in Bitcoin from around $187 to last time I looked at it was about $434. I think I looked at it yesterday. Is due to people in Europe, probably in Asia, who have just gotten frightened and looking for a place to put their money, and this is it. So, could very well be a future currency and the way to go. But I need to see more. I need more information. Can't base conclusions now that could be really deleterious to you. Just on what's out there now. We don't know.
Well, hey, sir, before we close out, I wanted to give our subscribers, both the Financial Survival Network and Future Money Trends, a little peek inside. Those of you who have stuck around for the interview this long, I want to share something with you guys that I think is a good indicator of the mood for the precious metals community, as well as anyone who's concerned about the economy or the dollar. And, a lot of people look at all kinds of statistics and data and the HUI, but I thought it would be cool for Carrie and I just to give you an idea of what's going on with our websites. And I hope this is okay, Carrie. So on my YouTube channel, 30 day over 30 days, we are up 91% in traffic. The website is up at least 50%, and the crushthestreet.com, which is our smaller sister site, the email list on that website is up 100%. It's literally doubled since December 21st. And I'm talking about, 20,000 plus subscribers. So that is kind of some information that I'm telling you this, not to tout my websites, but to let you know there is something changing in the undercurrent. And Carrie, if you don't mind sharing us just that, maybe some things you're seeing on your end, that it's not just a Future Money Trends thing, but across the board from what I'm hearing is there's a change in the mood big time. Oh, for sure. I mean, in terms of downloads of all of my shows over every platform, up about 30-40% since November. And as far as visits to my website, financialsurvivalnetwork.com, just that's going through the roof. So yeah, it's really, there's something going on out there, and I think the media and Mr. Trump out there really illustrating the dishonesty of the media and calling them out on it on a regular basis here, Dan. Yep.
And that's something I really do appreciate, the way he really lets them have it with both barrels, doesn't take any truck from them. That is just a great thing. I have to agree. I do want somebody to just kick their ass. Well, hey, so for everyone listening, that's just a little gem. Take it for what you want. If you're a silver or gold speculator, or you're involved in these markets, that's some data that no one has but Carrie and I, and we just shared it with you guys. So really appreciate you listening to the show. Please go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Make sure you subscribe. Add Carrie to your iTunes list. He's got producing more interviews than anybody I know. They're all high quality, and because of his reputation, he's getting the best guests. So make sure you go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Thanks, Carrie, so much. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you for the opportunity, Dan.